Did you want to add anything?
That was brilliant. I would like to just add what I see people do.
Yes.
Okay, so same idea. I'm just going to bring Veronica straight down so that we can get into the arms. Really looking for the elbow to stay straight and for the arm to be nicely snuggled into the back. So remember after roll down where you were doing the shrugs? Really great place to do the shrugs just to get people to understand where the strength comes from. So she's going to allow the springs to just pull the arms out and then she can just draw them back in again. So what that does, and you can almost have imagine that you're actually trying to funnel the spring energy through your arm and hold it in the back of the shoulder. And then once you have that, it's like that's your anchor point. And that kind of just maintains its place. And then once you're there, then you can start to do your work. So she's going to inhale. Make sure that when you inhale, you actually really focus on bringing the breath into the back of the ribs, because the tendency as the bar goes down, because it's quite strong, is to pick the rib cage up. You know, it kind of teeter-totters in your body. So the breath kind of, captures the weight of the rib cage, it holds down, and then you can bring the bar down. Now, the other thing, a big thing we see a lot is that people come down and they bend their elbows. And like Veronica was saying, you're not going to find your triceps that way. You're just going to hold a lot of tension in your forearms, get the biceps going. An image or a cue is to imagine that with a nice straight arm is that you're on top of the bar rather than falling kind of below the bar. And so as she presses, she wants to almost imagine that you're staying on top of the bar and funneling the spring into you all at the same time. Awesome. Now we're going to go elbows bending. With your elbows bending, same thing. You want to imagine, so Veronica was talking about reaching your knuckles forward. The springs will do that for you. So imagine that the springs are pulling your forearms forward. Your job is to snuggle, the spring into the back of the shoulder joint, so that as you inhale, you don't want the hands to be doing the work. You just want to imagine that you're yawning the armpit open, and you want to try and get the elbows up to the height of your collarbones as if your arms were like an extension of your collarbone. Now, what I see a lot of people do here is they actually bring their elbows down towards the mat rather than out to the sides of the room. So you basically just want the elbow to stay in line with the wrist and with the shoulder, and it just comes straight through and it slices through the air that way. And then as you exhale, it's not always an easy thought, but as you exhale and you allow the springs to recoil, you actually want to feel like you're still pulling the spring energy into the back of the arm so that you're eccentrically creating strength in the shoulder cuff as well. Yeah, and again, the breath here as well. The breath needs to open the back of the ribs, kind of anchor the back of the ribs down so that you don't get pulled off. That's all I got.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking as we were doing this, like people, when they're like, oh, am I breathing into my back? We want to breathe 360 degrees, but because I've got the reference of the mat, I could really feel the spread of my ribs and my lungs.
Feels so good.
Yeah,
hey?
it's just really
and
great.
That's awesome, because even having the reference, you really feel when the ribs come off.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially this one, elbows bending, not as much as arms pushing down. For some reason, that's kind of so much more like a teeter-totter feeling. So just use the mat as your reference and really start to spread into it. Feels really, really fantastic. Yeah, and then up you get. So we're going to do the other version of the side bending. So that would be, I like the first version better personally, but that's okay. We will give it a go. So you're just going to cross. This is how we actually learned it, right? Yeah. This is the classical method, and then I don't know how we learned it.
I don't know. Somewhere someone taught us that.
You cross your arms in the center of the bar, and you're just nicely connected onto your rib cage with your shoulder girdle, and you're just going to roll yourself down. So you're going to inhale for half. Exhale, you're going to roll yourself all the way down. You take the top arm off down by your side. You're going to slide the arm all the way up to your ear, and now you're just going to create a nice lateral flexion through your rib cage. You're going to hold the side of the mat if you can, like Vee was saying, and then from here, you want to imagine when your leg comes over, you want to imagine that it comes over from the reach of your pelvic half and not just by adducting the legs. So your pelvic half reaches all the way up through your foot, and then you're going to take 3 big breaths in here, and when you do, you want to try to imagine that the breath perhaps is actually moving let's create a rainbow. You're trying to make your rainbow bigger, right? So the breath is moving you away, kind of like side bend on the mat, right? It's basically like that, except for it's a lot easier here. And then her foot's going to go over to the upright. She's going to bring her spine back to center. Sorry, hon. And then she basically just crosses the arm under and over. And this is the difference here is you don't get that break. You just go right over to the other side, right? So the arm comes up, you laterally flex over, you're opening the rib cage, that pelvic calf is reaching out through the foot so until your legs come together, and then you just take a big breath in. Now, as best as you can, you want to try to not let there be any rotation in the spine here. The tendency will be for the rib cage to lift off, so use your breath, create movement through the back of the ribs, and again, you have the ribs, or the mat here, sorry, as a tactile, and you'll be able to start to feel that. Just try to feel that both sides of your ribs are connected.
What do you think about people crossing over?
I don't personally love it. Yeah, you too?
I don't really teach it. I just find they kind of hang that there. I mean, if they're so tight that they really have difficulty, it's kind of a bit of a modification, but I'm more interested in them actually reaching that foot past the one on the bar.
I totally agree. And I feel for me, and I think maybe I stopped doing that long ago also because I felt when this leg came up, it picked the pelvic half up a little bit.
And it shortens the hip flexor, so it's not...
I'm not a fan of it. Yeah. Clearly, you're not a fan of it. But hey, I mean, people do that. If you love doing it, you do you. I just feel like on the mat, we don't do that. We get the longest line possible from our foot to our hands. So, and then up she gets. Pull your ribs up into your palms and bend. Beautiful. Nice. Okay. Excellent. There you have it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Feels really yummy.
Yeah.
And
we'll see you at our next video.
Bye.
Ciao.